Good. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. All right. You want to come? Okay. All right. So, good morning. So, welcome to the planning, new session on the planning your TeamConnect upgrade strategy. So, I have Victoria with me to discuss about the best practices. So she's going to co-present with me on her experience on the TeamConnect 4.0 upgrades. So the high-level agenda, today is for this session is we'll briefly talk about the fundamental changes that we have gone through in TeamConnect in recent years, and I want to highlight few changes in TeamConnect in recent years because it is helpful for understanding how you plan your TeamConnect upgrade strategy. From technical point of view, what preparations you need to do, from infrastructure point of view, from change management point of view. Then we'll talk about how do we plan the TeamConnect 5 upgrade strategy. So we have created a flow chart, and there are some prerequisites for doing the TeamConnect 5 upgrade strategy. So we'll go in the brief details about that. Then we'll talk about the code compliance review. In the past, we have seen a lot of clients facing challenges. Their customization was broken due to their customization, and we have understood that it could be because of the non-compliant code that they are using when they are writing the customization. So I'm going to demo a tool. It's called as an API Analyzer tool that helps us to understand if there are any non-compliant code in your customization class files. Then I'll discuss what are the tools required for doing your TeamConnect 5 upgrade, depending on your TeamConnect module versions and so forth. Then we'll discuss about the best practices. I have worked on probably 8 to 10 TeamConnect upgrade projects, and I worked with Victoria also to get some input, when she worked with the partners, what are the best practices, what the lessons we learned, and we want to provide you input on that, when you plan the TeamConnect project. It's not specific to TeamConnect 5 upgrade, it is very generic, whatever the TeamConnect upgrade version you are planning, they are going to be helpful for you because if you're not prepared, this is what happens. I came last time, this was my first time interact. I was supposed to display a demo, but it was not on the laptop. So I should have come actually 10 minutes before here to make sure, my laptop is set up. So it's a learned lesson that, I should not wait till last minute there. I should come here for my presentation, get prepared. And then we'll talk about the upgrades included program that Metrodec has announced with the TeamConnect 4.0 platform that once in 18 months, Metrodec will be helping clients for doing the free upgrade. Because I have heard TeamConnect upgrades are complicated, so we'll provide you support if you are on-premise client, and there is if you want more details, you can talk to your account manager or you can talk to Kim Battles, who is here. So fundamental changes, if you look at last 3-4 years, TeamConnect 4.0 has enhanced API layer. That has given the more efficient implementation of your TeamConnect rules, faster way of implementing TeamConnect API rules. It is more user-friendly than the previous API. And also I want to highlight the global search. So that is another change. It's not in TeamConnect, but as a part of the TeamConnect upgrade, whether it's the 5 or 4.0 or 4.2, there is an infrastructure change and that you need to be prepared to set up before you start the project. So there are some changes, when you go to the 5.0 or 4.x, you get all the things together, and you can disable, enable whether you need it or not. But to understand what you need to be prepared technically to set up the environment, example, we need to understand what do you need, what environment you need to set up before jumping into the production or before jumping into the mock upgrades. So these are the three highlights, like TeamConnect 5 has enhanced Java 8 libraries. So that requires definitely the upgrade on your infrastructure side. So that needs to be accounted when you are planning for TeamConnect upgrade, because setting up the environment also takes some time. Because even if you have a perfect project plan, but if your environment is not ready, it's going to delay your project. So when we, clients come to us for talking about, they want to upgrade to TeamConnect 5 or 4.0. There are like two things that we do is, we send out the environment questionnaire form, and we understand what is the current version details. How is your environment is set up? And based upon that, we check whether, let's say you want to go on the 5.0, is your environment set up such a way that it is compatible, browser version, WebLogic or Oracle database or WebSphere. We check the, whether you're using the certified versions so that you are prepared, to set up the right environment. At the same time, I have seen that we have created a TeamConnect upgrade module guide that helps you to find out the upgrade path, because that is the most critical step in the technical upgrade. Because when we, depending on the TeamConnect version and TeamConnect modules that you have installed, like example, you have collaborative spend management, legal matter management, Office Suite, AP Link. Depending on the version, when you go to the 5.0, there are some prerequisite version that you must upgrade to. Then we recommend to running the TeamConnect 5 upgrade installer. When you look at the TeamConnect installation guide, it only tell you that what is the versions are supported. But if your TeamConnect version is, let's say, on 3.x or older version, then there is an intermediate upgrade that you will need to do. And that information was not available, publicly for clients. It was created, but it was not available for the client. So we have created a guide, TeamConnect 5 module upgrade guide that, I'm just giving a screenshot. It has a bunch of spreadsheets depending on your TeamConnect module version, what version you want to go with. It will help you to find out the TeamConnect upgrade path. Because I can tell you, like, if you don't take the right upgrade path, you will go to the TeamConnect 5 upgrade, but you will not be able to upgrade your other modules. And the only option is you to roll back your TeamConnect database and then redo the upgrade. So that's really a painful process, where you, spend a lot of time and then you have to roll back and redo the all things. So this is the, brief overview of this, slide, like the prerequisite I was talking about for TeamConnect 5. There are like modules. If you have this legal module, deadline module, there is specific version that your module needs to be upgraded to. And then you will need to upgrade TeamConnect 5 installer. As a MeterDex, services, we know this, so we work with hosting team to make sure that we get you to the intermediate step, version, and then we run the TeamConnect 5 installer. But as a on-premise client, you need to be aware about this upgrade versions to upgrade to, and then run the TeamConnect 5 installer. And don't worry about remembering all these details, because we have created a flowchart. We are going to distribute also the module upgrade guide that has the instructions how to follow it based upon your current version and get to the right upgrade path. So based upon whether what your version is TeamConnect 3.x or 4.0, we have created a flowchart for comprehensive strategy, from how do you upgrade from 3.3 or 4.0 to the 5.0. How do we upgrade data warehouse? How do I upgrade the financial management module? So we will be also sharing this this PDF guide with you so that you can use it. Then the next step is about the code compliance review. So once we find out, there are two main things when client comes to us for the TeamConnect upgrade. One is the design snapshot, where we look into the design snapshot and we run the code review tool to understand if there is a non-compliant code in your customization. And the other thing that we talked about is the environment setup, the TeamConnect version can we upgrade from your version to the TeamConnect 5 upgrade? What are the technical steps needs to do? Because I believe that those are the two main steps from technical standpoint that IT needs to be aware about. So on this code compliance review, I'm going to show how to run this tool because it's very easy and all you need to do is go to your TeamConnect setup and get the design snapshot. For the people who do not know, you can reach out to support. They will help you to understand like how you can take the design snapshot. And this API usage analyzer tool, it was actually developed for the TeamConnect 4.0 platform to find out if there's a non-compliant file. There is no changes in the API on the TeamConnect 5, so the API used on TeamConnect 5 is the same, so this tool works for the both, like 4.0 or 5.0. But for the TeamConnect 5, there is a UI and UX enhancements. So there is a changes in the cascade style sheets and the way the screens looks like in the TeamConnect 5. And we were a bit skeptical that if client has used some different type of HTML codes, then their screens will look odd and all those things. So as a proactively, we have created an XML scanner that will help you to go through the, it will basically scans through your XML files in your design snapshot, and it will check if there are any non-compliant HTML codes that you're using. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so if we're on 3.3 and we'd like to get to 5.0, we have to go through 4.0 first. We would have to run this API usage analyzer tool and go through this process for 4.0 before we can even attempt to go to 5.0, or can we?
Yeah, that's a part of the engagement process. You take the design snapshot because upgrading to 4.0 or upgrading to 5.0, you can combine that whole project together. You don't have to take separate project. It's just a matter of running extra tools. As a part of the going from 3.3 to 5.0. And the reason why we asked this to run this tool because we saw that we can understand if there are any non-compliant code in your customization, existing one, because we don't anticipate any non-compliant code to be added as a part of the 4.0 or 5.0 upgrade. So at the start of the project, you are aware about what are the non-compliant code in your class files so that you can, as a part of the TeamConnect upgrade project, there will be some mock upgrade process, there will be some development time where you have to fix integration code. So you can include this step to fixing your non-compliant class file as a part of your development process. That's why it is more important to run at the start of the project.
So you remediate all that stuff before you actually keep going forward?
You can do it in parallel. We just have to make sure that before you go to the QA testing or UA testing, that non-compliant code is fixed so that your business is testing with the compliant code. Sure. So as I say, all we need is a design snapshot. It is a zip file from TeamConnect, and it creates a CSV file. It has different categories. It will show what are types of class files in that, and any class files. I'm going to show you how to run this tool, and we'll discuss about details about about this report, and we can show you how it looks like and where to focus, in this report. So this is the zip file. You will get it from support. Just reach out to support. It comes along with the a PDF guide. It will tell you how to run this tool, what you require. There are some jar files that you require, and also it will tell you how to interpret the report. There is information. And what does that mean? It will help you to understand, okay, which is my non-compliant file? How do I fix it? So there are, one thing that is needed is a design snapshot file. So when you grab the design snapshot file, it is a zip file. I exploded that and put it into the code folder. So this is where actually your design snapshot folder will go. Just make sure that you're exploding that zip file because otherwise the tool will not actually scan the zip file. So if you look at the design snapshot, this is how it looks like. It has system folder, your home pages, object definition, which has all your custom rules and all those things. Then the library folder here, you don't need to do anything. It just this is the tool. It's going to cross-check against your class file. The target folder is the one where you need to get the jar files depending on your target TeamConnect version. So let's say if you are going on TeamConnect 5.02. So some of you may know actually these jar files exist in TeamConnect war file. If you know about where is the it will be under the webinf and the lib folder. You will find all the jar files here. So if you don't have war file, just ask support. They will provide you the war file to you, and you just grab all these jar files, and then you will just put it in under the target folder. So what it does basically, this tool will, based upon your TeamConnect target version, it will compare your existing customization code. So that's all you need. And once there are two inputs, design snapshot and jar files. Once you set up this, it creates the analysis.csv file. So I'm just going to delete because I ran it previously. All you need to do is just open the command prompt. Make sure you go to this path where this analyze.batch file is there, and then run the analyze.batch file. So it will count how many class files you have in your design snapshot, and then it will tell okay, it runs pretty quickly in in a minute, and it will, when it is done, it will show how many seconds it took. So once it completes, it will create the analysis.csv file. What I do is just for reporting point of view, I filter it and then I format it so that what I can and save it as worksheet, so that when we go to this report, there is a category column. This is where actually you will need to focus. There are different types of categories, so it shows that deprecated, load error, and non-public. Deprecated means your class files are using the old TeamConnect 3.0 API. They are published API. We have new API on the TeamConnect 4.0 platform. That's why we are calling those as a deprecated. The TeamConnect 3.0 3.x public API, they are still working it, but we are just calling that as a deprecated. The second is load error. So if tool is not able to scan your class file, or if there is a class file which is corrupt, then this tool is not able to understand if there is a non-compliant file. So that's why it will show that error message saying that I cannot read this file. So the first thing is you look into those files, and the one way is if there are only 2 files, you can manually decompile the class file, and then we look into the class file code to check if there is a non-compliant code in it. Sometimes it happens that this class file is dependent on some jar file or some other class file, and it is not there in the design snapshot, then it's not able to scan it. So simple is we just manually decompile it and look into the code if there is a non-compliant code. Then the main thing to look is the category equal to non-public. So these are the class files in your design snapshot that has it is using the non-published code, non-compliant code. And so the column G, the call, this is the API call this class file is making. This is not a published API. And this is what you need to remove it from your class file. So the question is what it should be replaced with. So we have added some additional information like the path where this class file is located. So you can go to that class file. If you have the source code, you will just open up, and then there is also like line number added where this non-compliant code exists. And then all you have to do is we have added the suggestions, like there are two suggestions. There are two ways how you can fix these non-compliant class files. One is replace that non-published API with the published 3.x API code. Or if you are going to rewrite the 4.x API, then this is the API that you need to use it. So this is going to help you how to understand where are my non-compliant class files, what I need to fix it, and how do I fix it. And this is what actually Metadec does is we understand how many class files we need to update as a part of the TeamConnect upgrade. But keep in mind that this design snapshot includes all the class files, which means it also includes the system out-of-the-box class files, and it also includes your custom rules. I wouldn't have say that like anything which seems to be system related rules or class files, ignore them. But if you know, okay, these are my class files, my custom rules. So then make sure that you are updating those class files and making the list of the class files to update as a part of your development work. All right, so any questions on this one before we move on? Let's say like, so that's the main thing, like, as a part of the TeamConnect 4.0 or like in a higher version, we strongly recommend that, you fix that non-compliant code. So anything like, category has non-public, those, must be replaced with the published API. And any code which is, called categorized as a deprecated, it is optional to fix it. The 3.x API published API is still working on the 4.0 platform. Then there is a XML scanner tool which works similar way. I will not demo it because there are like tons of XML files. What I want to show that it is there is not action work, but it is just created as a proactive to find out that that if there is a problem with your screen, then this could be the problem. Like it checks the non-compliant or if there is HTML code which are not compliant, and then even if it is flagging your custom block or XML, that does not mean that your screen is broken. It just that like your screen may be looking odd, or it may not be looking consistent as out of the box TeamConnect screen. So that's why like as a proactively, if there is anything that you are seeing as a flagged attributes, go and check out the screen. On the block name is basically the custom block name. So you will know like where my custom screen is there on the TeamConnect side. So you as a user, you will just go on the TeamConnect side and look out there.
So, okay, quick question. Sorry. So when you say no change in TC tags, no change in custom block XML by upgrade, does that mean that anything we did via screen designer should port over?
Yeah.
Should really have the issues with those?
Yeah.
One thing about that I've noticed, so get up here where you can see me, you can hear me a little bit better. By and large, screen designer things play really nicely as they move from 3.x to 4.x. One thing that I've noticed that we ran into on a recent project was with show heights. So that if you have lots of show heights on your screens, those don't
All right, thanks, Brad. So, this is the part of the code compliance review. We talk about the, what needs to be done as a part of the TeamConnect, 4.0 or 5.0 upgrade. It will, we can help you to estimate how much effort is involved to make your custom design compliant. So the next step is doing the actual TeamConnect upgrade. So we categorize the TeamConnect based upon the TeamConnect. One client is just, they have only TeamConnect Enterprise, and the other client is, they have the all other modules. Even if they have like, one single module, we need to be careful that like we are taking the right steps and we are making sure that we are fulfilling the prerequisite TeamConnect version before going on to the TeamConnect 5 version. Example, like, you cannot upgrade from CSM directly from 3.3 version to 5.0. You have to jump from 3.3 to 3.4, then 3.4 to 4.0. And the upgrade module guide actually and the flowchart actually will explain you what steps to take when you are doing the actual upgrade. So the TeamConnect Enterprise, is a straightforward. You can, it can support the TeamConnect upgrade back from like 2.5 version. But as a part of the engagement, we have to check that, like, whether you are using the supported versions of database and the application servers. From the TeamConnect 5 onward point of view, we are not supporting the JBoss. So I just want to highlight that. And from TeamConnect 4.0 onward, we have created an online help. So that is the link for the TeamConnect 5 online help. It has the installation guide. It will mention you like the system requirements and if you are upgrading actually the steps to consider. So again, based upon if you have the modules, the versions, we look into each module that you have, and then we design like, okay, from your 3.3 version to 5.0, this is how we need to consider like CSM module, TeamConnect legal module. And then for the specifically to the TeamConnect legal matter management module, because it works a little bit different than the TeamConnect installer. The legal upgrade toolkit, what it does is basically it will extract your current design snapshot. It will compare it with the out-of-the-box TeamConnect 5 legal design. And if there is a conflict in the design, then it will show you those conflicts. And then you have to make the selections whether you want to keep it as it is your custom design or go towards the out-of-the-box. And then after making the selection, you will just say install, and then it will update your TeamConnect legal design. For the TeamConnect financial management point of view, after go on to the 4.0, there is no data conversion necessary as a part of the TeamConnect 5 upgrade. Just to be aware about that, like if you have legal management module and the financial management module, do the TeamConnect legal upgrade first and then the financial management upgrade, because there is some design dependency on the TeamConnect legal that may actually cause a problem. So just for the safety, just do the legal upgrade first. And for the on-premise client, I want to highlight that we have online help, all the information, the installation guide, developer's guide, the user guide, that you can access it online. What you need to be aware about, you need to have a Windows box where you can run these tools, the TeamConnect installer and the upgrade toolkit. You will require the SFTP client to get these packages from MeterDex support on your side and then run this. When you are setting up the TeamConnect environment in the non-production TeamConnect environment, we strongly recommend that you take the production copy and do the mock upgrade so that it is a kind of, you are testing your upgrade with your real data so that it will help you to find out the exact time. If there is data discrepancy problems, then you will find that out in the development environment itself. But a lot of clients forget to install the SSL certificate. What this is basically, when you go to the TeamConnect about page, and it will show the available updates. That available updates will not work if you have not installed the SSL certificate on your non-production TeamConnect, because your non-production TeamConnect will not be able to connect to our master website, and then you will not be able to get it. So just make sure that like as a part of the setting up the non-production environment, make sure your IT is installing this SSL certificate. And I have posted the URL where you can find our SSL certificates. Just to note that like based upon our experience that like if clients are on 3.x CSM version, I am assuming that they are currently using the Java 1.6, and I know like let's say TeamConnect 5.1 is requiring Java 1.8. That's a big jump. So you might actually set up your environment with Java 1.8 and then it may not work. But what we have learned that like for CSM upgrade, if you have the Java 1.6, keep it that way, upgrade the CSM to 4.0, and then once you go onto the 4.0 platform, then you can switch your Java to the newer version, and then you can proceed the upgrade. So this is just one step that you need to be, you have to have the both Java versions on that machine just for the short duration until you get your CSM to the newer version. And then, we'll talk about the TeamConnect best practices. As I said, like I have worked on the multiple TeamConnect upgrade. I have tried to list out the, what are the lessons learned, what is the best practices, so that it can help you to understand how much effort is involved doing the TeamConnect upgrade, and so that your resources are aligned and you can manage the TeamConnect upgrade project process, example like defect management throughout the process. So I will have Victoria talk about first about her experience on the TeamConnect upgrade, and then I'll make some recommendations later. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Victoria from Baxter Healthcare. Can you hear me well? All right, so I'm going to try to add my 5 cents to the great presentation that Raul had prepared. So just wanted to highlight probably common sense to everybody. Please build in sufficient time to make sure you're managing quality of an upgrade, which means you gotta ensure you have right resources, you have sufficient resources. And when I talk about resources here, I'm talking primarily about resources who's gonna do testing, which is both system testing and unit acceptance testing. And you probably want to identify those resources early in the project so people are aware who's doing what and how it's done. You want to have all of your scenarios that are applicable to whatever you're upgrading ready early in the game. You want to have, the system testing scenarios and UAT acceptance testing scenarios ready and confirmed and reviewed by your business system owners. All of the whole upgrade team, and specifically business system owners, need to clearly understand what is this upgrade gonna give them as a result. And like in our case, we wanted to go away of some of the customizations. Our system is highly customized, which made all of the previous upgrades very involved and time-consuming. So if your business wants to go away from some of the customizations, they need to understand what does it mean. What are going to be the differences between what out-of-the-box system gives them and what was the custom views and functionalities, before the upgrade. Also, when you plan for testing, don't forget about performance testing. Don't forget about integrations testing. Our system integrates with 5 different systems. So if, I know sometimes we'll have like multiple projects going on, all of them have competing priorities, and if you don't leave enough time to test everything, to make sure all of the things that in theory weren't supposed to be touched by the upgrade are still working as expected, the business is going to be thankful to you. We don't want to see stuff broken. And if one of the important integrations don't work, it means you can't go live. It doesn't matter if TeamConnect itself is functioning, you can't go live without integrations functioning. Another thing that I'd like to highlight is that it's important to put together the user acceptance testing scenarios based on roles. You don't want to waste time of an IP attorney testing budget functionality. He's gonna ask a bunch of questions, he's gonna be frustrated, and it's not gonna help anybody. It doesn't help the project. So please make sure that when user acceptance testing scenarios are put in place, they actually customize to whoever's testing, to their roles. And also, it's a good idea to underline, again, it's all common sense, but underline that business and user acceptance testing participants, they own the acceptance of the system. They can't take it lightly. They cannot, say, oh, we did test. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't log any issues, raise any issues. But then at the time when everything is implemented into production, all of a sudden things are broken. And IT and, Mitratech Professional Services or partners of Mitratech, we oftentimes don't really know or realize, specifically in these situations when system is so highly customized, and unfortunately, people change, and not always you have documentation in place that's up to date, where you can look at it and definitively say this is what it's supposed to be doing, and this is what the requirement is. So that's really important. Another thing with testing, again, it's important, again, common sense, to have the testing outcomes documented, to clearly outline to everybody who's testing what is the process on raising issues, how issues are going to be handled, when are they going to be, how are they going to be contacted to retest when it's ready. And it's really important to keep track of what caused an issue and what was the fix. So when system is implemented in a higher environment, you have this all handy, and you don't have to go back and reinvestigate the exact same issue that happened before in your lower environment. So it's going to save tremendous amount of time for everybody if this is handled and tracked carefully. Another thing that I'd like to highlight is, which is actually the last bullet point here, it was our painful experience. Please, whoever's managing the project, make sure that you check with corporate policy, with whatever teams are managing the platforms. And specifically here, I'm talking about WebSphere platform. So in the middle of our project, our WebSphere platform owner, Baxter, told us, oh no, you can't deploy the way you plan to deploy. This is out of the questions. That doesn't work with us. Prior, there were different people who were owning the platform, totally different rules. Corporation changed the rules, and as a result, whatever deployment file that Mitratech creates for upgrading TeamConnect, that file, the way it is not acceptable to be deployed at Baxter. So Baxter wants to have a deployment that, first of all, could be deployed with an automated tool and not manually. And secondly, it's going to be the exact same file that was deployed in that environment, tested, confirmed, and that same file has to be deployed in higher environments. You cannot do any manual tweaks or changes or do anything manually to that file. So with that, the file had to be changed. All of the parameters that are specific to dev had to be externalized, and there were issues along the way with that. Also, the versions of particular, application server, even like tiny dot whatever 2, that's important because when we were going through the upgrade, we knew that in general, the version of WebSphere was certified, whatever we had in our corporation. And it turned out that this little dot, whatever we had too, was not really the same as .0, and that caused issues. So I think the bottom line of my whole 5 cents is please have enough time for testing. And don't forget about different types of testing, integrations testing, performance testing. With performance testing, also you don't want to go live, and we did have it built in. We had the performance, we asked for our system business owners to make sure that system performs in terms of time, output time as they expect, but then, going live, people were complaining like, oh no, I have this legal matter and it has invoices from, 10 years back, and I have to sit and wait while screen redisplays all of it. This is not acceptable. Well, what were you testing? Because we did have the copy of our production database in a test environment for our business to try it out. So I guess there are more things I could tell, but this is the gist of it.
All right. Thank you, Victoria. All right. So, as a professional services, the first and very most I would recommend you to do is the upgrade analysis. That is what actually we send the questionnaire form so that we can understand how your TeamConnect is set up, and then understand what is the technical upgrade path from your current TeamConnect version to the next Team version, because that is I would say as a part of the technical upgrade, 50% of the problem is if you take the wrong step, you are going to fail your upgrade. So take the right step when you are using the upgrade toolkits and taking the right versions, and it will help you to upgrade your TeamConnect environment from X version to Y version. And we have this modular upgrade path guide that will help you to understand and determine that path. So the next thing is know your TeamConnect. If you have somebody knowledgeable who knows about your TeamConnect implementation, customization, that is the best thing. If that person is on your upgrade project, then that person can find out if the changes in new TeamConnect is going to impact your customization or not, or if there is any additional changes that we need to do as a part of the upgrade. Then revise the customization, as Victoria mentioned, that if you have any customization that was done long time back, if there's a hard coding involved, then you can move away using the out-of-the-box feature in TeamConnect, like email notification template, like the workflow, invoice workflows. It has advanced workflows in TeamConnect now. So you can move away from customization, and it is an opportunity to consider that okay, I can get rid of these rules. I don't need these rules no longer, with the hard coding. I can just build these rules in TeamConnect with the configuration rules. So it is an opportunity for you to consider moving towards the out of the box and moving away from the customization. Then the next thing is refreshing your non-production environment with the production copy, because it helps a lot of way for doing the correct TeamConnect upgrade, and also doing the better testing. Like your QA testers are able to do the testing with correct data. Your UAT users are able to get the confidence, and they can use the TeamConnect the way they are using the TeamConnect production environment, so that they can see, they can compare it with the production environment, and then they can find out if there is any difference. So that they know if there is also even the time differences, if they are seeing any slowness, they can compare it. Again, we can understand that you cannot set up your non-production environment with full complete production copy. You may have to do the scrubbing. If that is your IT policy, you can scrub it. But what we want to recommend is that if you have the real data in your non-production environment, that will help in a lot of ways for your team. And then we discussed about the AP analysis team that will help you to understand non-compliant code in your design, and then make sure that you fix it so that you have a better upgradability in future. Because we have seen on the TeamConnect 3.x platform, client using the non-compliant code that has likely has failed your customization, that has broken during the upgrade. So using the published API, we are able to support you better, and at the same time, like, it will help us, to take us advantage of the upgrades included program. And then talk about the run book. So when you go to the mock upgrade, make sure you document all the steps you took. What are the lessons learned? If there were any data, you had to correct it. If we had done specific configuration changes, make sure you document it so that when you do the rollout in production, you know how long it's going to take, and how long your TeamConnect production is going to be not available for your end users. Example, data warehouse refresh. So it will take probably like 2-4 days to reports to be available for your end users, so that you can communicate and you can be prepared, or they can run the reports before you want to actually roll out, so that they can continue their business. And then the on-premise client, for on-premise client, I want to recommend that, like, we have released the technical specification document. It mentions, like, for your, let's say if you have 500 users in your TeamConnect, then based upon the number of users and the size of TeamConnect, we are recommending this is the hardware and software you need to use. X amount of memory, X type of size. Especially I want to mention for on-premise client that Elasticsearch server, it's a separate module that we recommend to use the utility server so that it doesn't impact on your TeamConnect performance. If you are going to set up the Elasticsearch server on the TeamConnect environment, it's fine, but make sure that you have sufficient memory allocated to those machines, because Elasticsearch server is a memory intensive module because it runs like every 5 seconds and all the thing. And we have this Elastic HQ plugin that helps you for doing the monitoring. Like when it is running the indexing, you can check how it is progressing. Our hosting uses this Elasticsearch, Elastic HQ plugin for checking the progress of the indexes. The last thing, the change management, as a part of the TeamConnect 4.0, we have updated our API. So there is a developer's guide. You can request the new Java doc for your TeamConnect 5 version. Check if your team need any kind of a training. This is applicable for both, like your technical team or for your business users. On the TeamConnect 5, there is a change in the UI. So if your end users need a training, check, it is a best practice to just to check with your end user. At the same time, if there is a API change, so that your technical or developing team can understand what are the changes in the API and they can take the advantage of that one. And of course, you can use this online help to educate your TeamConnect support people so that they are prepared. They are prepared before go live. So just make sure that you're educating them before you go into the production. So that leads to our last session. Last topic is upgrades included. As I mentioned, Metadec announced free of cost service for doing your TeamConnect upgrade once in 18 months. As a part of this process, the code compliance review is the critical and the first step. Then Metadec will help you to the upgrade testing in one non-production environment. We'll do the smoke testing, and then we'll support your production upgrade. We'll revise if you need any kind of a training. For on-premise client, we will not do the actual upgrade. We will support you how to upgrade it, because there is a lot of challenges that we have experienced, especially getting the access to your databases and servers, and we want to prevent working on the WebEx. So for the on-premise customers, we will guide you how you can upgrade it from X version to Y version. Just to reconsider that API analyzer tool will help you to check whether your customization has the all the compliant class files or not. And I think it needs to be done only one time, because once you go onto the compliant customization, going forward just use the the published API, and then you don't need to worry about the non-compliant file. So any questions? Scripting?
Scripting, yeah, to do load testing, performance testing, stuff like that.
Yeah, I have heard a couple of clients, they have used Selenium as a performance testing tool. As a MeterTech Professional Services, we use JMeter scripting for doing performance testing. There is also a license tool for like Load Runner, the client use for the performance testing. So those are the like 3 tools that I have heard for doing the performance testing. So depending on the skill set that your development team has, they can use the tool. But I think the Load Runner is a licensed tool, whereas the JMeter is open source tool. Sure.
Other questions?
Yeah, actually a very similar question as Corey, but to Victoria. Just wanted to know if you had test cases written down and manually executed, or they were manual. And how many test cases?
Oh gosh, I don't remember the number of those, but there were quite a few test cases. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Okay, and just give us the feedback. We have a contact information. Please make sure to fill out the feedback form.
Fill out your surveys on the mobile app.